Hi, so we are here with Dr. K. He is a professor at Mount Royal Academy, and we are interviewing him on faith and reason in terms of education. So, Dr. K, do you think that the combination of both religion and science is important in terms of education, and why do you think so?
The combination of religion and science. Yes, religion and science are both important in education because they are both sources of knowledge. To be educated is to understand. To be educated is to understand the laws of things. It's to understand how things work, the first principles of things. Now, science gives us understanding into material things. They teach us how we have these branches of science called physics and chemistry and biology that teach us how the laws of nature operate in the physical world, the medical world, the biological world. But there are other areas of human life that science cannot completely understand or reduce to data or methodology. Surely there are mysteries to human life that science cannot penetrate. The mystery of life, that is the mystery of death, the mystery of love, the mystery of beauty, those are profound human experiences that are part of everyone's life that science cannot really understand. But religion gives us another way of understanding, that is belief, faith, theology. Those are ways of understanding. And they also have first principles. They also appeal to a part of ourselves that we call the religious sensibility, or they appeal to what we call the knowledge that we have by way of faith. Faith is a form of knowledge. Faith isn't just believing in nothing. Faith is believing in a kind of evidence or a kind of testimony that has authority to it. For example, the Christian faith is founded upon a human being who lived in history, who gave us a certain teaching, who performed certain miracles, who revealed to us the Father in heaven. So faith is based upon something real, although something that surpasses the limitations of science. Science is just a methodology, and a method can only do so much. What a method cannot do, when a method somehow reaches its limit, then you have to go outside the method. Well, secularized education does not have to cause a loss of faith. That is, not every institution is religious. Secular education causes a loss of faith when it aggressively ridicules or mocks religious faith as something private, or something in the past, or something subjective, or something superstitious. That is, a secularized education does not have to be the enemy of religion, but we live in a culture in which secularized education is very, very anti-religious. That is, the response always is that certain things are religious opinions, only religious opinions, and they don't bear into any kinds of issues. Well, religious opinions are not just religious opinions. There are religious ideas that somehow are based upon common sense. That is, morality is a matter of common sense. That is, we call this the natural law. That is, certainly secularized education can at least acknowledge what is called the natural moral law. I have no right to steal from you, and you have no right to steal from me. That's called the self-evident principles of moral law. If everybody steals from everyone else, then we cannot have a human society, a civilization. So there are some principles there are some common sense principles that secular education can incorporate in its education that doesn't have to somehow be opposed to religion, you see. Yes, if secular schools have policies that undermine the values of families and that undermine basic teachings in religion, then secular education can erode or damage a person's faith. For example, the worst problem in secular education today in colleges in particular, especially secular colleges, is dormitory life. That is, dormitory life is just a den of temptations. That is, secular colleges promote promiscuity, you see. They promote that. That is, they have this attitude that colleges are not parents and that students are adults and that their task is to somehow protect students, you see, to protect students from sexually transmitted diseases. So they promote contraception, for example, you see. So in other words, the atmosphere of secular colleges creates a kind of mass culture in which everyone ignores religious teachings as basic to a good life. So naturally, a religious person in a secular school is going to be tempted or ridiculed or marginalized.
Do you think that the relationship between the truth of science and the truth of religion are in opposition? Can the students believe in both of them, understanding them at the same time?
The truth of religion and the truth of science are always compatible. You know, St. Thomas Aquinas said, all truth, whoever said it, comes from God. All truth, whoever said it, comes from God. The truth comes from God. The truth doesn't come from man. So what Einstein says, what Isaac Newton says, what Mendel says, whatever any scientist says about the laws of nature have their origins in God. So the truth of science and the truth of religion do not contradict each other. They complement each other. That is, reason takes the mind only so far, and then when reason stops, it is then that faith takes the mind even further. So Dante's Divine Comedy is about this very, very process in which one of the characters, called Virgil, represents reason. And Virgil answers every question that Dante asks until they get to paradise in heaven. And then Virgil says Beatrice says to Virgil that she will now guide Dante into the higher regions of heaven. So science is about understanding how the world operates according to order. There's an order to the physical world, the material, physical, biological world. Theology also recognizes there's an order to the world. You see, there's an order, there's a religious order, there's a moral order to the world. So intelligence is about recognizing order and understanding how the laws work and what the consequences of the laws are. So there never has to be a conflict between science and religion. There never has to be. Wherever there's a conflict, for example, the conflict is because science is invading or taking over a body of knowledge over which it has no expertise, you see.